It's a good ball played in for Tony Morley. Oh, he lost it! It is! Take away! Villa in the lead!
Hello, good afternoon, Aston Villa fans, and welcome to the Villa Thriller podcast. I am your host, Chad Williams. Please subscribe. Help me to the road to 2K. You can give me a follow on all socials, and you can follow me on Spotify, Apple and Amazon Music. Let's spread awareness of do shit Muskin digitally. On this preview episode, I'm joined by my special guest, Martin Horsefield, who's from the Mancunian Way podcast, and Amos Murphy from the City Ramble will be on the show as well. And this is the match preview. I'll be doing a pre-match talk show. Aston Villa versus Manchester City in the Premier League on Sunday afternoon. It's a 2 p.m. kickoff. It's expected to be a great contest. Aston Villa are up against Pep Guardiola's City, who've had a decent start to the season, the second in the league, and trying to put the pressure on Arsenal. But Aston Villa have got a very good record in recent seasons at Villa Park in this fixture. And can Aston Villa come out on top again? And can they make it the third win in a row at Villa Park against Man City? Going into this game, we are in good form. It's great to have you both for the show. Hello, both of you.
Hi guys, you okay? All good.
It's great to have you both for the show. It'd be good to actually get on this episode from a Man City perspective.
Yeah.
Like I said at the top of the show, well, it's been a good hunting ground for us. Man City at Villa Park. It's going to be an interesting test on Sunday.
Yeah, we've not won there, as you say, for 3 seasons. We used to go there and do very well, and then all of a sudden it stopped for the past 3 years, as Amos, you know. No, but it's always, I love going to Villa Park. I really enjoy it. It's a proper old traditional ground that I love going to. I would like us, not to move the away end a lot of the times when we always go there, but it's a really good ground. I enjoy it. But yeah, I think it's 2 good informed teams playing on Sunday.
It's expected to be entertaining.
Yes.
It's an entertaining game. Emery, he's turned it around for Aston Villa in the last few weeks. But I always thought he would, though. And in the Aston Villa dressing room, the belief is back. So there's no reason why we shouldn't even fear Man City at Villa Park.
Yeah, I think for City's point of view, obviously they've come in 9 games unbeaten now after that Champions League win against Villarreal. But you're looking at the next couple of fixtures, starting with this one at Villa Park. There's some big tests for City, and I think it's going to be a real sort of a litmus test from a City point of view, because they've been good. The Blues have been good, but at the same time, it's about sort of building that momentum against better teams. And I know, Martin, I imagine you were the same a couple of weeks ago looking at this fixture. You're going, oh, Villa started out a little bit poorly. This could be another sort of comfortable, I guess, victory. But now, obviously, we don't know what Villa are going to do in the Europa League. But before this, I think it's 5 wins in a row. It's suddenly become a little bit of a tricky one.
Yes, definitely.
We'll go into more detail about the game. So, Martin, what do you expect from Sunday?
I expect, I expect a very good team. Amos just said Villa, 5 wins on the bounce. I think Thursday will play a vital role for me because I do think because obviously you're playing the go-ahead Eagles obviously on Thursday. The game's at 12:30 on a Sunday, which was a little bit similar to which game was it? Was it the Arsenal game, mate? When we had the game Thursday and we had to play Sunday, and it is hard. It is hard to do that. But I expect a very entertaining game. See, I don't know what to expect from Pep Guardiola anymore because he's sort of chucked the rule book out the window now, and he's changing things, and he's going to away grounds, and I don't want to say defending, but being a little bit more pragmatic, which he wouldn't normally do. And I think it also depends what injuries we've got because, if I think Nico G being available on Sunday is going to be pivotal. While we haven't got any Rodra, so that would be a big thing for us having Nico G.
What is I think the creativity. Like Villa, you also. Man City play very narrow as well. Which I'm thinking without Rodri, you miss more that creativity. Apart from, you've got grinders there. Like you got Phil Foden.
Yeah, I think Phil Foden sat out the European match, and I imagine that was with a view to coming straight back into the 11 on Sunday afternoon. Same with Tijani Reinders. And I'm interested to see your sort of take on this, Martin, because I know a lot of City fans have, maybe not a lot of City fans, a few City fans have been maybe a little bit underwhelmed. He started the season so well, but for me, I think he's been crucial for what City have been able to do over the last few games, purely because he's a profile of player that City didn't have in that midfield last season in any capacity, in terms of his athleticism, legs. I know he's been unlucky at times with a few of his shots. Maybe decision making could improve, but I imagine the relationship he's built up with Phil Foden already. You said it before, Nico Gonzalez being available possibly is crucial to that because he might have to rejig it a little bit with Bernardo or with Kovacic playing that holding midfield. But I think Tijani Reinders has maybe been a little bit of an unsung hero for City in these first couple of sort of months of the season.
In the game, a lot of players are crucial players. They'll be ready to go again because on Thursday night there might be a few changes. And also going into this game, Emery and Villa, the morale is a lot higher. And we have been should be fairly confident. Going into this game, the confidence is there. And, excellent form. They've been unbeaten now, 8 games, 4 wins, which is a pretty impressive record.
Well, for me, I think both teams are going to be in form. City are unbeaten in 9. We haven't lost.
That's second, yeah.
Yeah, we haven't lost since Donnarumma has come in, which, personally for me, Donnarumma has changed our whole perspective at the back. We've now decided it's like there was a lot of criticism on Ruben Diaz, maybe rightfully so, but Diaz, because he's now doing what he loves best, just pure defending. He's allowed to just defend now because he's got a goal.
I was going to say actually that defensively, you've been very solid at the back. Man City kept a lot of clean sheets. Like a solid defensive unit.
Yeah.
Well, that was the one thing we never used to do. That we never used to keep a clean sheet. We used to always leave the back door open. And was that our 3rd or 4th clean sheet last night? I can't remember.
Under Donnarumma, I think it's probably United, Napoli. It would have been 4th, wouldn't it? With Brentford. Oh, no, maybe 5th. because Brentford, Everton. I know there's that many we can't even keep count now, but usually it's sort of like first. Genuinely, there was a time when even when Ederson was in his sort of heyday, first shot on target often ended in a goal because City don't necessarily give away that many chances, but when they do, they are high quality chances, and it's obviously harder to save them. But nowadays, I genuinely feel a sense of security when City are maybe on the transition or there's an attacking team coming towards our own goal. It doesn't feel like, oh, goodness me, this is a massive threat. It feels like Donnarumma's got at least going to maybe get hands to it or at least come close to saving it.
Well, Donnarumma, we played PSG at Villa Park last season. He pulled off some worldy saves. I don't think it wasn't for Donnarumma in that game. PSG might have not got through. So I think Donnarumma is a quality goalkeeper.
He certainly changed the dynamics for City. And I think, obviously PSG had lots of great players, Dembele, Kvaratskhelia, Doué, etc., Vitinha. It wasn't just Donnarumma, but even the Arsenal game in the semi-final, he was probably man of the match in that one as well. So, I mean, I don't think anyone expected it to be happening, but as soon as it does, he's just sort of transformed.
But also, he brings quite a bit of experience because, say, in the Euros, Champions Leagues, like he's sort of done it at the big level.
No, he does. He's a big presence, and I think he won the treble last season with PSG.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he's such a presence, and don't get me wrong, Ederson was fantastic for us, but I think football's changing now from this. I think this is why a few teams are struggling. I think because one thing I was laughing the other day because I think I'm seeing pundits that played football in the 90s now understand football again because they didn't quite understand the football that we've been playing for the last 5 years. Now they're loving it because it's a bit more direct, a bit more physical, and I think it's suiting us. And Hugo Viana mentioned, I think it was about a month and a half ago, that moving forward, we're kind of going to look at big, powerful, robust engine type sort of players now that are just going to get up and down and be like. And I think, sadly, by the way, I thought he had an excellent game last night. Players maybe like Rico Lewis may get their game time a bit limited because of that lack of body strength.
With Man City, you got some very talented young players that have come through the academy, including the likes of Tom O'Reilly, which I've been very impressed with.
He's been a revelation at left back. It's to the point where Ryan Nouri, who was signed in the summer, is just coming back from injury. And there's a genuine, well, I don't even think it's a debate. I think it's probably set in stone that Nico O'Reilly right now is City's strongest left back. And if Ryan Nouri wants to get back into that starting 11, he's going to have to do something exceptional because he's probably not going to get those starting minutes. O'Reilly has been that good. And I was surprised he didn't get a few minutes for England, actually. It felt like he would have been a decent profile for Thomas Tuchel, but hey-ho. Yeah, O'Reilly's been great.
And going to this guy, Aston Villa, with the record that I mentioned, it might give us an extra boost underneath, and the momentum keeps giving for us. Compared to a slow start, because to begin the season with a slow start, but I think we look like we're in a better place now.
Yeah, definitely. I think Villa are in a much better place. Like you said, they're coming off a really good run of results. I mean, I actually, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to be intrigued to see how the two teams can try and counter each other on Sunday lunchtime. I really am looking forward to doing that because
I'd expect to. I think Man City, they will dominate possession. But what they need to do is we need to work hard without the ball, which is something we did well at in the previous fixtures.
Yeah. I imagine that midfield battle will be crucial, especially if Nico Gonzalez is a threat of injury, because suddenly City have gone from obviously Rodri dropping out the team, that being disaster stations, Nico Gonzalez really stepping into that role and looking comfortable. And then if he's out the team, it's back to square one where City were last season. And I remember the game at Villa Park being probably, it wasn't, in fact, it would have been in that run, but it was one of the worst performances for City the whole season, to the point where going into it, it felt like City were going to lose. During the game, it felt like City was going to lose. When they were losing, it didn't feel like they were ever going to get back into it. And yeah, that midfield battle could be very, very key in this match.
Yeah, be patient. I think they need to wait for the right moments, especially to beat the press as well, and do it at the correct time.
Yeah, definitely. I'm intrigued to see players like Morgan Rogers, because I always like seeing the young academy kids sort of we used to have.
Yeah.
I think Morgan Rogers has turned into a brilliant player, by the way. I think he has.
Oh yeah, it's amazing.
I think City was a little bit too soon for him, which I think he's openly admitted himself when he went to Blackpool. Was it Blackpool?
Middlesbrough were in there as well, weren't they? It wasn't like a Cole Palmer situation where
it's not a Cole Palmer. Yeah.
Those minutes.
But I'm looking forward to that.
He's driving runs. Very important in that game. Because with Morgan Rogers, he was man of the match last season against you guys. He sort of tore you guys apart last time. But he's trying to get the best out of Rogers. Because at the start of the season, he lost his confidence. But the last few games, I think his confidence is back. He got him back to his best again.
Yeah, definitely. That stint, and I know a few Villa fans were saying, why can't he translate that international form over to club form? And he was obviously doing so well for England, and genuine conversation about whether or not he's going to boot Palmer or even Foden out of the team. But definitely over the last couple of weeks with Villa, it looks like he's settled down and he's performing again, which is great to see because he's such a good talent.
What a goal by Rogers against Spurs.
Yeah,
he pulled the trigger.
Yeah.
Fantastic finish. I've always liked Rogers. And I think he has to thank his manager, Unai Emery, as well. Because he's developed him really well.
He certainly has.
Yeah, I totally agree. I actually think Morgan Rogers... I don't want to say... I do think Rogers will end up moving. Whether it be a year, 2 years, I think he'll end up somewhere else.
In the future,
I'm not on you or anything. But I'm talking where I could see Morgan Rogers, and it won't even be City. I could see Morgan Rogers.
Real Madrid?
I was going to say like a Liverpool. Because I think Liverpool have gone too much the other way. I think they could do with a player like Morgan Rogers more than what they could try and do, some of these superstars that they all think they're going to buy. But, I'm actually intrigued because, I'm looking forward to it. Haaland at the minute is the guy's a beast at the minute.
I'll say Haaland. Apart from Harry Kane, I'll say the best striker in Europe.
I'd say including Harry Kane, mate. I think it's definitely the debate, isn't it? I understand. Look, I can definitely accept that Kane is the more rounded striker. I think that's fair. But you look at Haaland's goal scoring ability. Yeah, true. You look at Haaland's sort of goal scoring ability. You don't even need to get the ball to him. You can just put it in an area, and his movement, I think, is one of his underrated aspects of his game, to be honest. So yeah, it's certainly. It's very close, but I'm edging Haaland.
Well, he scored against Villarreal last night, so his form's definitely there. And Haaland, he can't stop scoring.
No, he can't do. What was nice, we got Bernardo Silva on the score sheet last night, which was nice to see somebody else's name apart from Erling Haaland on the score sheet, because that's what everyone labels that as. But I mean, I don't think Real Madrid fans moan when it's Mbappe top of their charts, or Bayern moan when it's Kane at the top of their charts. So I think it's just another stick to hit City with a little bit at the moment. I mean, I'm not going to moan about it.
Yeah. I mean, they're not just club level. You've been doing it for Norway as well.
Yes, he really has. He's broke records again. I was reading the other day, he's got, this Isaac Haaland situation.
Yeah.
Haaland has more assists than Isaac. Never mind goals. He has more assists than him.
Yeah.
And
Also,
I think
Erling Haaland, one of the best strikers in Premier League history, probably.
I think you're right. Yeah, I think you're right. It's hard to argue against those numbers, isn't it? And I know people sort of look at him as just a goal scorer, but actually this season his all-round game has stepped
He
up
works
at
hard.
another level. Yeah, absolutely. His defensive attributes, I think, have gone underrated as well. The amount of times he's back there for City winning headers, which is so crucial. Set pieces are so key in the modern game. So yeah, can't complain. I mean, why would you complain? He's for me the best player on the planet right now.
And go back to the game, it's not about grinders, but the combination of Grinders, Foden and Jeremy Doku, when you give City more creative spark and you're sort of more dynamic. But what we need to do is, I think, use Matty Cash and Digne providing the width. Sort of, but at the same time, don't get caught out.
Yeah, I imagine you've seen against Spurs, Matty Cash's involvement was so crucial, and I do worry at times for City. I know we're praising Nico O'Reilly, but even on the opposite side, whether it's Mateus Nunes, Kusanov probably won't be fit, ready to come back. But City's full-back areas are possibly an area where teams can exploit. I know Iliman Ndiaye had an absolute wonderful game, and he's a top player, but Villa have plenty of them themselves. So I do think the full-back areas will be interesting, especially if Villa with Luca Dean and Matty Cash double up on that side as well.
We're going to get an opposition predicted lineup on screen. This is the Man City team, which could be expected twice after Villa on Sunday. So Martin and Amos, can you both speak to me about how Man City will set up in this game?
I think for me that back line, including Donnarumma, so a back five, is probably right now in terms of availability City's strongest in terms of personnel. Like we said before, Nico O'Reilly's made that position his own, and even when Aït-Nouri comes back in, he's going to have a little bit of difficulty. Nunes is a funny one because I think for 90% of the games City play, he is a more than fine option at right back. There is those other 10% of matches, the big Champions League matches, the title deciders where you do have question marks. And we saw Kusanov play there to great effect earlier on in the season, but he picked up a knock, unfortunately. So I think Nunes, he's definitely got the basis. He's getting better and better. He was great against Villarreal. It will be a big test if he is at right back, but I do think he will be. In there. Nico G. Yeah.
He's a centre back. He's a full back, isn't he?
Well, he joined as a centre back and then played basically for 2 seasons as left back. And I'd say it was probably towards the back end of last season. I think there was a Bournemouth Cup match where he came in and he played centre half alongside Diaz, and it was like having John Stones there, but with a left foot basically. And I'd say Diaz and Gvardiol. I know Arsenal fans love to praise their 2 lads at centre back, but I genuinely think these 2 aren't that far behind him, if I'm being honest, this season.
What else was you going to say?
Just in terms of Nico Gonzalez, I know it's early days and he came off, and hopefully it's precaution, and we are pinning an awful lot of sort of hope on that position, because it is for Guardiola teams. I think it's the most important position on the pitch. You can have Haaland scoring the goals, you can have Donnarumma between the sticks, but linking those two areas I think are crucial. So if it isn't Nico, I imagine it would be Kovacic, but that maybe messes with the balance a little bit in terms of attacking departments as well.
And Slovenia is very dangerous cutting inside, especially. He gets more than boy, though that's quite a lot as well.
I mean, Cherky, Mamouche. I do expect them to play. I think Semenyo was very, very good last night. I think Semenyo hasn't been amazing since he's come back from injury.
Yeah.
I think there was a lot of issues in the summer going on, which complain to I think people forget how young he is. I mean, I didn't even think about it the other day. He's younger than Oscar Bob, Semenyo. And I didn't even realise that how young he was. And Oscar Bob's an academy player, and you always go, give them time. But I think Semenyo's transfer dealings in the summer got under a lot of Manchester City fans' skin. And I think the time maybe you would have given other people, I don't think he's got that at the moment, just because of what happened in the summer. I think it is a bit subconsciously as well at the minute. But I thought he was terrific last night. But Mamouche and Cherky, I mean, one thing I will add, I think last night, you talked earlier about the narrowness with us. I think Cherky and Mamouche suits us, because I think Cherky's going to be a sensational player. I think he's that unknown quantity at the moment that I don't even think a lot of City fans we know what we're fully going to get from him, because we've only ever seen glimpses, because he's been out for so long in his early career.
Also, the three in the midfield could be key to Man City. Is that sort of like a diamond?
It's kind of looked a little bit. It's possibly for the first time in a long time as close to a midfield sort of 4-3-3 that I remember City playing, because it has been for quite a while. I know that's kind of this formation you associate with Guardiola, but it has been more orthodox. I know, in fact, last night against Villarreal, John Stones was stepping into midfield a little bit, and we haven't seen that for a while. There have been moments where one of the fullbacks has sort of come inside as well to create a little bit of an overload there. But on paper, it's probably with, whether it's Nico Gonzalez or Rodri, who I doubt will even be in the squad, let alone fit enough to play. But when it has been Rodri this season with Reinders and Foden, it has felt like quite an orthodox midfield three, because Doku's been playing a lot, and he's been, obviously a traditional winger, either Oscar Bob or Semenyo. They've been providing the width. I wonder with Marmouche, I mean, he started the season. Well, no, so he didn't start the season. He came in for the two matches, the Spurs and Brighton one, but he got injured for Egypt with the international break, and we only saw him for about 5 minutes last night. I wonder if it might be Doku and then Cherky on the right. I definitely feel like Cherky's ready for a start, because, like you said, Martin, it was weird with Semenyo. He got an assist, back-to-back games he got an assist. He was also crucial for the opening goal. But overall, it wasn't an amazing performance. It was a good one, but at times he was still wasteful, and he is a funny one. But I think City, you can't complain. City have got plenty of up on the wide. It's just about trying to find that right balance, and who are the guys that are going to not only help Haaland get the goals, but also chip in themselves.
Because the new Man City team, it fascinates me. That in Guardiola, that sort of tactics, which, that's what I find interesting.
Yeah. I think City have with like we were saying before, City haven't been afraid to surrender possession at times, more so than usual. And it's fascinating because it does offer a different dimension. And I don't know if it's here for the long term. Ideally, Guardiola would love to have a team that, is ball dominant like it used to be and controls games and suffocates opponents, etc., etc. But when City are in this rebuild, it does offer a different dimension, I feel like. And I think, going into this game on Sunday, if there are moments where Villa are dominating and it looks like they're, building attacks, I wouldn't be surprised to see City go into a little bit of a shell because they've got players that can counter attack. They've got Donnarumma who can make the save. So it is interesting to see Guardiola adopt what is kind of like Mourinho tactics at times.
Yeah. So what is your thoughts on Man City's start to the season?
I think it's been impressive. I think I'm looking back now. I think the lack of a pre-season has hurt us at the beginning. When I look back at it, and I was the opposite. I thought, 6, 7, 8 weeks off. We've not had that in a long time. Let's do it. Yeah. We played one pre-season game after 7 weeks off, and I think we came back half asleep. We came back a bit all over the place.
Lethargic.
And a bit.
That Spurs game, it definitely showed in it. Spurs were hungry.
It was the Spurs game.
Fast, yeah.
That was awful all over. And it wasn't. And we had all these new players on the pitch. They hadn't quite fitted in. You came away from Tottenham. James Trafford had just had one of the worst home debuts you can probably get at the time. And then we went to Brighton, really good in the first 45 minutes against Brighton. Played some lovely football, took the lead, and then it was second half we dropped again, and I think that's why I was concerned about that. But then I don't know. I think they had a meeting, they did something, they brought Donnarumma in, and things just changed.
We
went to I think it was coming out the derby because nobody expected us to do well. Everyone was looking. We had a week of games. We had United, Napoli, Arsenal, and everyone was scared. Everyone was like, if we just come out of this with a smile, we're all right. Never mind anything else. And we ended up, should have got 9 out of 9. And you won 2 minutes away from 9 out of 9. You turn over Napoli, even with the 10 men, we were dominating at the time. United was very unexpected because the way we played, and I think Pep Guardiola. This is where I disagree. I think Pep did learn from last season. There was a lot of Pep don't learn. Pep doesn't change. Pep hasn't got a plan B. Pep plays the youngs, and we ended up with one of the youngest teams we've had in about 15 years. Amos, I believe.
The squad age.
It's gone down dramatically.
I'll provide. Go on, sorry, Chad.
I was going to say Man City as well. They've been strong, a lot stronger this season. I don't think they've been more consistent. When you look at the Premier League table, it doesn't lie. And you carry on. You can put the pressure on Arsenal. What you're going to do, the key to Man City is keep that winning mentality. Just keep winning. Apart from Sunday.
I think as well, Arsenal have seemingly wrapped the league title up after 8 matches. If you listen to some of their supporters, so I think
they always fall at the final.
Exactly.
The hurdle,
Yeah, and winning mentality isn't something that you can just spend millions of pounds on. It takes time to develop and learn. And even though City have got lots of new players, that core of the team, obviously Donnarumma is new, but he's just come off the back of winning the Champions League and a treble. Diaz was there for the treble with City. Obviously Phil Foden was not as key of a part of it, but he was still there. He's won plenty of titles. Erling Haaland, that spine is still very much a winning team. And just to sort of go back to the point you were making, Martin, I totally agree. I thought City started the season so sluggishly, and that was down to the lack of pre-season. I do think that can be a benefit later on in the campaign, though, because obviously we had the Club World Cup, but there was a month between that and coming back. And if come, January, February, March, City are looking like they're either in a title race or they could be challenging for the Champions League, that's when you want to be peaking. So I agree, like performances now, even though City are 9 matches unbeaten, they haven't been perfect, but you don't want to be perfect in October. You want to be perfect in April, May, and June if it goes that far for the Champions League. So yeah, I think it's promising. There are still plenty of sort of chinks in the armor, I think, that need to be figured out. But at the same time, 9 games unbeaten. It seemed, I don't think we went, I don't know, I can't remember the longest unbeaten run last season, but it certainly wasn't over 5, I don't think. Or maybe it might have just been 5 at the start of the season. So yeah, massive steps forward.
In the season, there's still going to be a lot of twists and turns. When you look at Liverpool, they started the season to the full start for them. You could capitalise on the teams that are struggling and take advantage of them.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
I mean, definitely. I mean, to me, I joked about Liverpool. I said, I think Liverpool have done a bit too much in the summer, which sounds crazy when you think of the numbers. But my best analogy is Arne Slot was like a kid in Harrods who's never had daddy's credit card before.
Yeah.
And it's like when you go shopping and you've got extra money for shopping.
I'll just have that.
Exactly. Instead of going on the budget, you go a bit wild and you start putting stuff in the basket you don't actually need. It's not a necessity, but we'll get it. And I think that's what Slot's just done this summer. I think he's just gone a little bit wild. He's gone very top heavy. He's bought some fabulous, talented players. Do not get me. But and has anyone asked the question, can they all fit? And that's the one thing.
That's the big thing.
City get very, I think it goes under the radar with City and Pep a lot of, because you get a lot of City fans, why haven't they just spent 130 million quid on Burts? Well, A, does he fit the profile? B, do City rate him at that kind of money at this present time? Not in 5 years, because City don't buy in 5 years' time what they're going to be worth. They're buying what they're worth maybe now and what they, because City may want to make some money out of it. But and that's when I think City are very, very shrewd, very, very shrewd in the market. And that's why, I think we've changed our thing to buying young, hungrier, younger players. I mean, people forget we've still got AK-47 Kushinov to come back yet, who's going to be a revelation as a footballer. So to me, people think I'm crazy and I'm bold, but I think City will win the league this year.
I wouldn't say. The thing is for me right now, if I'm betting, I'm probably betting with Arsenal. But I think if you tell me at the end of the season City have won the league title, I would not be in any way, shape, or form surprised.
I think if you get Erling Haaland, if you keep him fit, then you got a good chance to win the league. But,
absolutely.
I think it depends on Erling Haaland, because I do think Erling Haaland is a key player. Without him, I think it might be a different story.
Yeah, and I mean that's part and parcel of football, isn't it? And this is why I think in the next few weeks it's important that starting with the Villarreal game, City find goals from elsewhere, because I don't buy the argument that City are necessarily overly completely reliant on Erling Haaland, because for example, 2011 Barcelona were reliant on Lionel Messi, but that's because he's the best player in the world at that time. If you've got the best player in the world, then you sort of work to the but I think City do need those games, because there will come a match where Haaland doesn't have luck on his side, or he misses a few chances, and that's bound to happen. But with Erling Haaland up front and Donnarumma between the sticks, that's 2 match winners in the squad. So absolutely.
And also, you got big quality, but good quality with the squad depth. You got more options than Guardiola can rotate players. Your squad depth is probably one of the best in the Premier League. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's why
Yeah.
Arsenal are looking decent now and why Liverpool aren't, because when Liverpool rotate their first starting 11, they're bringing in players that aren't necessarily up to that same standard to compete across the league title, especially in defence, which is, again, you speak about City. City's bench last night was phenomenally good. And in the case, it wasn't needed in the end, but you're looking at Foden, Reinders, Marmoush, Shirky, just to name a couple. Nathan Ake's there as well, Kovacic, just like talent. So I think that's something that has definitely gone under the radar.
We'll get to the next talking point then. Okay. Did you just get it on the screen? So we got top scorers. We're going to talk about Erling Haaland. So, hang on, I just saw the talking point. Look up again. Oh, here it is, I got it, guys. Okay. So how do we stop Erling Haaland doing what he does best? How do we stop him?
I don't think people can stop him. I'm going to be straight. I don't think you can. I don't think there is a way to stop him. I've seen teams double team him, triple team him, go deep, go short. He played. I don't know if you noticed this, Amos, against Everton on Saturday. He was with Tarkovsky, and they were smiling at each other because they were just throwing each other around on the floor, and Haaland's smiling. It's like, this guy's not normal.
He loves it, doesn't he?
Yeah. He loves getting into a battle and a fight and a tussle. Trouble is, you stand 2 or 3 yards off him, he's got that he's got blistering pace that goes undetected by everyone. So I don't know what you do. That's why I said I don't think you can stop him. I think he's inevitable.
The way he runs in behind the centre backs, don't leave the big gap. The two centre backs, yes, he can run the shoulder. And the way, in between. He likes those great runs.
Yeah, he is sort of developing into a real all-round player. And he spoke about, I think it was after the Brentford game, how he was getting involved in the tussle. Can't remember the name of the centre back at the time, but he was saying, he does that. He does absolutely love that sort of hands-on battle. And if you can stop him, then you're a very, very good defender, because off the top of my head, I don't think there's many teams, many defences he's come up against that he hasn't scored. Liverpool, Arsenal, Real Madrid, the lot. He feasts. He absolutely feasts.
Yeah, last season, Villa did well at stopping Haaland, because what you're going to do is you got to make sure to track him. Track him the whole 90 minutes. Only some teams can do it.
Yeah. The issue with that, though, is if the open spaces and Phil Foden pops up and he's able to sort of refine his scoring form and bangs one in from 25 yards like he was doing a couple of years ago. So, yeah, I think, his goal scoring is obviously his strength, but his movement's amazing, and the space he occupies, it's time now for other players to make sort of use of that as well.
Haaland is an intelligent player.
Very intelligent. Very, very intelligent. And I actually think, do you know what reminds me of this Haaland change is I saw it in Aguero.
Yeah.
And Pep's doing exactly what he did with Aguero with Haaland now. He's changing his game up.
Yeah.
And Aguero used to be this guy in the box who was just this lethal predator. And then Pep was like, no, you need to come back and get involved a bit more here. You need to come in and defend and attack and tackle. And Aguero looked at him like he had 3 heads. Of what's all this I'm doing? And he turned out to be really good. And I think Haaland's doing the exact same now. And I think it does work. I mean, in a way, it tells me Pep Guardiola will always get you to do what you want in the end. You don't think he will, but he does.
Mm.
But yeah, we need to get more involved, and I think we will. I think bringing Mamouche, like Amos made a great point. That bench last night, I don't think we've had a bench that's strong enough
Strong
since
bench.
probably a year and a half. Was the
It
last
really
time we had a
helps.
bench like that?
Also, Erling Haaland. I think physically, Erling Haaland, he actually enjoys a good physical battle. And what they need to do is, you got to try and physically outmatch him. Because do you think he's a giant? And his physical unit, Haaland is.
Yeah, he's got the finishing ability of Aguero, but he's got the sort of the physicality of, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, and it's a deadly combination when you stick the two of them together. If we're being honest,
And it's hard to judge the defender. What to do? What do you start with him? Like, what do you do? It's very difficult.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's why I don't think there is much you can do except sit back and enjoy and watch him put the ball in the onion bag.
Yeah, or break his legs.
Hopefully not. None of that, Chad.
We'll talk about Morgan Rogers. So, there have been rumours about him signing a new contract. So, what do you make of that? Including the likes of Morgan Rogers. Is it good news for Villa fans that he won't be signing an extended contract to 2030? What I read.
Wow. Yeah. I think any sort of player signing a new contract is definitely beneficial. My sort of fear in the modern game in general, I don't know if they mean as much as they did sort of 10, 15, 20 years ago, when a player signs a new contract. There are sometimes, gentlemen's agreements saying if a team in the Champions League comes in offering this much, you can go, blah, blah, blah. But I think I was glad that I know there's talk of Chelsea being involved in discussions or, looking at him in the summer. I was glad that he stayed at Villa because I genuinely feel like for a player, there's no rush, I don't think, for Morgan Rogers because he will be competing at a high level for the majority of his career. Villa fans will be hoping that Villa can match that trajectory. They can get back in the Champions League. They can maybe compete for a couple of trophies. Obviously, semi-final in the FA Cup last year. But I think it's a top. Yeah, it's a good deal if he can get it done.
It's going to be absolutely vital. Morgan Rogers is one of our key players. I mean, I know we've had this PSR situation, but I'm getting a bit fed up of selling our best players because you need to progress as a football club to keep consistent at that level. And Morgan Rogers is one of those players. Also, he's not at risk leaving to get his contract done. He might not leave in January then because there's been a lot of interest from other clubs, which is expected because it's England international as well.
Yeah, definitely, and I think I quite agree. I think Villa have had to sell some of their jewels, their crown jewels, as you have to say. But I mean, I don't agree with PSR anyway. But that's a different subject for a different day. Yes. But yeah, getting Morgan Rogers tied down to a long-term contract, I think he's good. I mean, will there be a release clause in there? I don't know. That's obviously down to Villa, but it wouldn't surprise me if they put something in there like that. Just, I think players, agents, I think they're getting a bit wiser now to some of these contracts. I think what we saw in the summer, by the way, it wasn't just Isak. Isak was just the biggest profile of it, but a lot of players, Missa, for example, as well, who were playing their way out of the team. And let's promote. That's why I think release clauses will soon be a thing over here on the regular, more than just now and again. I do think. But even this supposed anchoring wage cap, whatever you want to call it, system that they're trying to put in. I think they're realizing that the players have the power now, and I think the power's gone a bit too far the other way for the authorities.
And what it is, I think,
governments.
not the players. They need to show more respect to the club and manager. Look at that exact situation. Because, in my opinion, I think no player is bigger than a football club.
Yeah.
So no matter who you are.
Yeah, no, I understand that. See, I'm a bit different. I'm one of them. It's a job. It's a job, innit? I've never believed in all this kissing the badge and look at me and.
It depends who's doing it. If Haaland's doing it, I fully believe.
Yeah, if Haaland and Foden are doing it, then he's doing it. But like I said, I think there's only Foden and Haaland I've got that thing with. I think everyone else, like, you know, you don't want to be here. I don't know. I think like last season for me changed my mentality. I became more about the badge is more important than any name now. You know, and Amos will tell you, and you know, I'm already known as the Mr. Happy Clappy of the fan base. Everyone, you know, we get beat 5-0 and I find a positive about it. So
yeah. I've been getting that lately for saying City are in good form and we should be happy about it. I think most people are never happy.
Why are we not winning a treble?
I know, yeah.
You have low standards.
Regarding Morgan Rogers, he's very influential. The way we play, and he's excellent at ball carrier, and his confidence, and it easily just draws past players. I think it's important to have good ball carriers in your team. Because he plays in the number 10 role sometimes.
Yeah. It's been a feature that I think has returned to football over the last, I'd say, maybe 3 or 4 years. Possibly, to give him his credit, Jurgen Klopp had a good couple of players who carried the ball well, and City never really tapped into that. But I remember after City won the treble, they brought in Kovacic and Doku, who obviously great at carrying the ball forward, and even Nico Gonzalez now is I think I saw a stat the other day saying he's one of the top ball carriers for midfielders in Europe this season. So it does feel like it is a trait that has come back, because the passing's great, but I feel like defenses and midfielders have maybe become aware to sort of some of the passing angles and so, and it's been easier to defend against, not easy to defend against.
Good Morgan Rogers. He's got to adapt his game. Since last season, some teams have worked him out. That's it. They doubled up on
him. Yeah. I feel like he is maturing. He's obviously still relatively young, and his development will come. Yeah, working with Emery, working with Tuchel at England, that's only beneficial. That's only going to help him.
And if he keeps going, if you're not World Cup squad.
Definitely, if not starting, the way it seems, it feels like Tuchel's got a lot of confidence in him. Yeah, it feels like Tuchel's a big fan.
Do you enjoy the goal he scored against Wales as well?
Yeah.
Decent finish that was.
Yeah, very big threat. Big threat.
Well, we're going towards the end of the podcast, so let's do score predictions. So who wants to start first? What's your predictions?
Lead us away, Martin.
I'm actually gonna go 3-1.
Wow.
To Manchester City. I think we'll make it.
Don't feel you're wrong.
That's what I'm going for. I'm going for the big man to feast again.
What about you, Amos? What's your prediction?
Yeah, I feel like I'm always naturally pessimistic, I feel like, but I think it's probably going to be a little bit tighter. 2-1 City, but if it's a draw, if it's a draw, I wouldn't be totally surprised, because Villa are in great form. Villa are in really good form. Villa Park for City, as we've mentioned, is a bit of a difficult place in recent years. But 2-1 City, Haaland one of them, and I don't know who, and I don't really care who gets the other one, but I feel like they'll start chipping in a little bit more.
But obviously, I'm going to go a bit more tight. But like you said as well, Amos, it will be tight. But I'm going to go 2-1 to Aston Villa, based on their current form. But whatever happens, I think it's going to be an absolute spectacle, I think.
Should be a good one.
And I'll be there. I'm going to the game.
Love that. Should be great. Should be a decent match, I think.
Well, yeah, man, I've really enjoyed both of you on this podcast.
Been a pleasure.
Great
Yeah,
to get all
always.
this
Thank you.
perspective. Well, thank you everyone for watching. If you enjoyed this podcast, please make sure to subscribe. Make sure to smash the likes. And make sure to spread the word about this podcast. Share it on all your socials. Make sure to leave us a good review if you're listening to the audio. Also, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Well, thank you both of you for your time.
Absolute pleasure.
Yeah. Thank you for asking. Appreciate that.
Please subscribe. Thank you everyone for watching. Up the Villa and Villa forever.